So we are here today because I recently just pulled the trigger and bought a coat that I've been lusting after for quite some time now. And that is a coat from the brand Santinni. I'm sure some of you may have seen on Instagram or on some of your favorite influencers. It's a luxury women's wear brand that specializes in outerwear. I've got an upcoming visit actually to Japan soon, so I wanted to first of all clear out a bunch of items and donate them to charity if I wasn't using them, so that I can also buy a few more new things and also longer lasting things. So I finally got the courage to pull the trigger on this and buy a very special coat indeed, and I wanted to sit down and share the full unboxing. As you can tell, this package arrived actually only a couple of days ago, but I have not opened it yet. I wanted to save the unboxing experience for you guys as well. Well, I mentioned that it's a special coat, not just because it's from Santinni and it's super luxurious, but also because it's actually a bespoke coat. It's my first bespoke coat ever, actually. So I'll be doing the live unboxing, of course. I'll try it on. I'll give you all the details around how I did this bespoke order in case you are interested. I'll wrap up by sharing my final thoughts and if this Santinni coat is worth the hype and worth the price. So let me go ahead and actually just start opening it up. And as I open it up, I'll just tell you a little bit about the brand, just in case you are new to Santinni. Santinni is a family-run business, and they're inspired, as you can imagine if you see their looks on their site, by timeless, sophisticated looks of the golden age of film and fashion. So thinking Marilyn Monroe, the Audrey Hepburns of that time. And there's a really nice quote they actually wrote on their website, and it's that they aim to reignite the delightful art of dressing up, which I personally really love. I feel like nowadays we don't necessarily, in the whole yoga pants culture, leggings and just kind of hoodies and sweatshirts, I think nowadays it's totally underrated actually to dress up a little bit. Now it's kind of actually quite refreshing to dive back into the archives and get something very tailored, sophisticated, elegant. And as a woman who likes that kind of style, I personally think the stuff that Santinni does and what they stand for is refreshing. I really love the fact that they want to present women with fashionable but functional pieces. Their pieces are not throwaway fashion, they're not fast fashion, they will outlive any trend. They're very much investment pieces. Some may argue they're a little bit on the expensive side. I personally think that they are very fairly priced for what you get, and you can cherish them for decades, and you can also be guilt-free in the knowledge that they have very low environmental impact. I believe they are potentially even zero waste. They also ensure that their workers are fairly remunerated, so that's something that I think we will all have a clear conscience on when we buy these items. I think on the majority of their collections that are not limited edition, they are all designed and manufactured in the UK, which is really nice. I feel like rarely do we get brands like that. Like you can see, we have a very nice pale pink Bushi box. The corners sadly have been a little bit damaged, so alas, I don't think I'll be keeping this box, but I actually have future order of Santinni coming that I will hopefully get a better box. I think this was just damaged in transit, so it's not Santinni's fault. Big Santinni London script on the front, and it's just a magnetized flap box here. So the packaging is pretty good. Oh, we've got a leaflet flying away. I'm gonna try and be quick as well, as quick as I possibly can, because I am using natural light, as you can probably tell, so please excuse the variations. So this one is a £35 voucher to use on our website, www.santinni.com, as a thank you for becoming our dear client. Then on the back, you've got the social information, which is really sweet. I love that, even for a luxury brand. Client loyalty is everything, and every discount is welcome. And then I have a little card. And by the way, like I mentioned, they didn't know that I would be ordering from them. They didn't know I was a blogger. They didn't know that I was going to make a video about this. I didn't get any kind of discount, special treatment or whatnot. So my experience is very unbiased in terms of giving you this review, and the fact that they have little details like a card here is really sweet. So it says, "Dear Mel, thank you so much for your order. Love, Nicoletta, sorry." Now let's go in and open up the coat. So I don't know, maybe you can actually see a peek of the color, because this packaging, I'm not gonna lie, is slightly disintegrating. I think it was quite badly damaged in transit, but let's see if you can guess what it is. Okay, so we have the peak of the beautiful collar, and I'm just gonna pull the whole coat out. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful coat this is. It is so wonderfully soft. I've never felt such a soft and fluffy coat in my life. So this is the Bespoke and Affair to Remember coat in the color Bianco. So it's kind of this off-white color. I believe the body is slightly more creamy than the collar, which I kind of like actually. I'm glad that it's not a full true white. I then mixed up the Roman holiday chest pockets, because actually in the Affair to Remember coat, they don't actually have chest pockets, but I believe these are just, yeah, these are just illusion pockets, they're fake. Then we also have the Singing in the Rain belt. It's a Bianco belt as well. I believe it's leather or fake leather. I didn't actually ask them to give me a belt. I asked them just to create some belt loops, because actually if you notice, the original An Affair to Remember coat does not actually have space to put a belt, but I wanted the option of wearing it with and without, or potentially to put my own belt. So it's just amazing that they even gave me a belt. I did not expect that. And then I also got them to bespoke for me the sleeves. I cannot remember what coat it was actually inspired from. I believe it might be Roman holiday, if I'm not mistaken as well, but I will throw up a picture if it is not. But before I do try it on though, I just want to quickly talk about how I actually got this bespoke coat and the cost as well associated with creating a coat that is totally custom to you. So actually from the outset, looking at Santinni's website and all the beautiful coats, I was just gonna get one that was off the rack, if you like, just one of their existing models. Then the more I started looking at the coats, I kind of thought, wonder if it would be possible to combine some of these elements. I love elements of multiple coats. And then I toggled, because I just get sucked into kind of a wormhole online. I saw a tab that said Bespoke Orders, and actually it just comes up with a very simple web page, and it has a quick blurb, and I'll pop it on screen as well so you can see, but it basically says that if you like a certain style of coat, but you want it changed in a different color or different buttons or some different details, and they're able to craft it for you with the preferences that you want. Even give them your custom measurements, which I also think is a great idea. I didn't do that for this time around, but I know that some people have online. So then what you do is basically there's like an order form that is below that blurb. You can type in obviously your name, your contact details, the changes that you'd like to make, to which design, and your sizing preferences, all that kind of thing. And then your designer will then be back in touch with you within a few working days and then discuss your order further. I believe that the cost is the same regardless of your bespoke order. And I believe from memory that cost is £445, unless it was kind of based on the coat that I designed it off of, and then they maybe just added a little bit more on top, and then obviously you pay for shipping. But I honestly thought for a bespoke coat of that kind of caliber, this kind of quality, that was a pretty good deal. I had the loveliest lady assist me with some of my, frankly, probably very annoying emails of, can I change this? Can I do this? It came out so much better than I even imagined, if that's even possible. End to end, I would say the process took around 2 weeks from designing it to then having it shipped to me. Since I believe they made these coats in London, it was very quick for me. I would say if you are based elsewhere in Europe or the rest of the world, you could probably factor 3 to 4 weeks potentially, depending obviously on the scale of changes that you want to make. But all in all, I felt like it was very, very quick. I realized I haven't actually mentioned what size I got it in. I got it in a size S. I believe they have on their sizing chart the guidance for which size that will be appropriate for you. I got the size S because it says it's for a UK 6 to 8. If I'm wearing layers underneath, I don't want it to be too constricting. I also go to the gym, I work out, and I feel sometimes that my shoulder blades are quite broad and wide. Either which way, there is a belt, and I think it's also going to be quite flowing looking anyway, so I should hopefully it should be quite forgiving, but I'm sure you're all excited as I am to see it on. So I'll go and do that, and hopefully these mod shots will be helpful for you. All right, so I'm about to try this coat on. I've put you a little bit further back. I'm standing up, obviously, so that you can get a better look of this. Now, I know you won't be able to see all of my body, so I will put some vertical cutaway shots as I try this on so that you can actually see what it looks like in terms of the length. Now, for reference, I am about 5'7", and I am usually a UK size 6 to 8, so that should hopefully be helpful for you. I did mention that I usually have a little bit of a broader shoulder and a little bit of a bigger bust, so I'm hoping that the size S will be a good size for me. It seems like that way from just looking at the coat itself. And while I go ahead and try the coat on, I will share some details about this particular coat. This coat's actually 100% wool, and it's ethically sourced according to Santinni, which is obviously fantastic. It has this beautiful trimmed fur collar, it's got beautiful fur sleeves as well. It's also just incredibly soft, like I mentioned. It just feels divine. It feels like the real thing, to be quite honest with you. They also have gold toned hardware. As you can see from even the buttons, they are gold, and obviously this one is pearl. You've got some very subtle gold details also with the belt and the belt loops themselves. So let's put the coat on. I'm not exactly wearing the right outfit for this. I'm wearing something very casual, but I think if you were to wear something like a nice jumper dress or even like a nice evening dress, this will be nice. Now that I'm buttoning up, the fit is perfection, and now I'm really glad that I took the advice of the designers that I should use an S, because if I'm wearing like a semi-thick jumper underneath this, I just don't want the constriction on my chest. So what I'll do, I'll put the belt together so you see it with belt. It's not the same exact white, but it is Bianco in terms of the shade, so it does complement. It gives it, I guess, a little bit of a nice breakup from just being all the same color. I think it would wash out. I had such a nice image in my head when I was designing this bespoke coat of what it would look, and I just think it's absolutely exceeded my expectations here. I love that the sleeves are 3/4 so that you can see a pop of rolling over here or a nice bangle over there. I think it falls perfect on me at the moment in terms of the length of it. It falls basically just above my kneecap. I've got boots on at the moment, some ankle boots, and I think it gives a nice kind of breakup. It's not so long, but it's also not short enough that, you know, you'll sit down and the bottom will ride up. I think those look really, really classic. And actually what I will do is just take this belt off, because actually I think this coat is also elegant wearing it without a belt. I asked them to give kind of invisible loops here that are very, very discreet. I think you can actually, yeah, I can't even really see them looking down, so I doubt you'll be able to see them. I think if I wasn't wearing jeans and I just had a jumper dress on with some tights or just bare legs and then my boots on, I think this looks super, super cute. And oh yeah, I've discovered some pockets, which is always very handy in the cold. And actually, in one of the pockets is a pearl button, a spare button, and that is going to definitely come very, very handy in case of an accident. And actually, my hands are pretty toasty in these pockets because these pockets are also wool inside, so there is no risk of getting a cold in this jacket. My biggest fear was that it was going to be too thin, but actually it's really quite warm. I also want to just try as well opening the coat up, just so that you get a look for, you know, if you want to be more casual. Again, excuse the outfit, it's probably not the right one. I think this would go really nicely with some of the more neutral turtlenecks, jumpers that I've got. Like I mentioned, a nice neutral jumper dress would be really nice. I guess if I was wearing this kind of jeans look and I had a more simpler top underneath this instead of this dual tone layer, maybe it would look a little bit more suited, but I actually think opened it also looks quite nice. I will just end this video by sharing my final thoughts, also because I am racing against time with Mother Nature. Obviously, if you could not gather from the way I've been talking about this coat, I absolutely have no regrets. I think it is definitely a coat worth getting if you've been considering it. You don't necessarily have to do the bespoke option. I do think their coats in general are very classic and timeless, as it says on the tin. But if you do want to change a couple of details, Obviously, I've mentioned the specs already that I got. There are plenty more. I've seen some beautiful coats in other colors with different buttons and whatnot, different lengths too. They can do pretty much almost anything, but I think for the price of, I believe, $445, it's really inexpensive for a 100% wool coat. You get the finest faux fur, the softest wool, and a lot of their details are really nice. They're lovely finishing touches, and overall shopping experience was really smooth and slick. I think that their loyalty is really well thought out. Obviously, they gave me a voucher. They also give you like the handwritten notes, but actually you can also be a VIP client if you just create an account really quick, take you like 1 minute maximum. Then they'll actually send you newsletters with further discount codes. Some of them are like free shipping or early access to sales or 10% discounts. Anyways, I will leave this video here. I hope you found this useful, enjoyed it. I love the way that my coat came out. And you know, if you're interested in seeing my next purchase when it arrives, I got another coat and actually a headband too, which I'll probably pair with this because I think this plus a headband would be a vibe. Then let me know, drop a comment down below, and I'll be more than happy to film that for you. It's a very different coat. It's not a bespoke coat this time. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll catch you in my next one.